What's up, everybody? Paco here, and marriage is awesome. It's also really hard and really confusing at times, but today we're sitting down with Chuck Moore. Chuck has been married for 42 years. He's a marriage coach, and he's gonna give us some expert advice on how to do marriage and do it well. Okay, marriage is supposed to be this lifelong commitment between two people, the whole thing. Lifelong is a long time, right? And that's a commitment for the rest of your life feels really scary. Especially, like, what if I pick the wrong person? Or what if I don't say yes to the right person and they don't say yes to me? Is like the earth gonna spin off its axis? Like, what's gonna happen if I don't pick right? And then once I get into this thing, how am I gonna make this work with another person for the rest of our lives? It's a lot to be scared about. Where do I even start thinking about this thing called marriage?
Right. Well, it is scary. So I think if you are asking those questions and you're having the feelings of fear about marriage and concern, I think you're in the right place. I mean, that's exactly where you should be. Most of these questions we don't want to answer. We don't even want to ask. So I can remember wondering about marriage and having found somebody that I thought might be someone I would want to marry, and immediately the first things I thought about is, what's my plan? What's my 5-year plan? How am I going to control this? What's in it for me? I really began to get acquainted with the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I felt inadequate. I felt like I can't necessarily cause this to happen all by myself. And I was very fearful. And I think there's good reason for that. So as you engage in marriage, you think about what makes marriage work, and I was so ill-equipped to understand any of this, which I frankly think is the point of marriage. So what I learned about marriage is it's really not about, I mean, the marriage song I love the best was, I love how you love me. And that's probably why I got married, is I was enchanted with the way that my wife loved me. And that is exactly the wrong place and the wrong reason to get married, because marriage is all about how I learn to love her and how I learn actually to even love myself so I can have the love to love her, and how I can do the things that are going to be the provision for the rest of our lives. And I had to learn that. I knew nothing of that when I got married. All I knew is I loved the way that she loved me. So marriage elicits all these questions about, can I do this? And nothing in my culture. I needed a short-term plan. I needed to know where I was going. I needed to have it within my talent and control to get it done. And marriage was completely different than any of that. And I think that's really true in our culture.
Yeah. So you're saying if I'm walking into this idea of marriage and I have questions still that have not been answered, and I'm a little uneasy in certain areas, then I'm doing it right.
You're doing it right. So if I had to say what makes my marriage work, I'm seeking to learn. I've been married 42 years. I'm still seeking to learn about my wife, about who she is, about where she is now. We've had 4 kids. Where we are now, where the kids are gone out of the house, is a completely different woman and a completely different place than we've been before. I'm constantly asking myself, what do I need to seek to learn about my wife, about my marriage, and about me, and how do I need to learn how to love in a more powerful place? And I was not skilled at any of that before I got into marriage. I was thinking about, what do I get, what I need in the next 6 months to push me forward? So marriage was completely different. And it's the most challenging thing I've ever done, and the most powerfully positive thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
It's got to require a lot of trust to do that kind of thing, though.
It does. So I would say that where it comes to the love that I need, the trust that I need, the wisdom that I need, I don't have it. My wife didn't have it. I mean, the real answer is you got to get it outside of yourselves as well. You got to get it from great community, and for us, we had to get it from faith and from God directly. So that's the answer. My wife and I are completely different people. We have completely different needs. We vacation differently. We live our lives differently. And I needed all the rescue I could get from everybody to succeed. And we wouldn't have succeeded without it. So I think the questions and the fear was well placed. And I think that's one of the purposes of marriage, is to force us to get outside of ourselves, not to be alone, to get in community, to get close with God, and to trust that He will provide when difficult things happen, which they do.